Steve Austin's show is the worst show in the history of shows. It is the textbook example of everything not to do with a wrestling podcast, besides the J.J. Dillon show. I mean, that's the worst. But that Austin show is not much better than a J.J. Dillon show. I mean, it's better, but not.
I think the decision was reached on doing the watch-along shows. It kind of evolved.
I just said, Tony, we're just doing watch-along now. That's it. And I know that's probably not what a lot of people want to hear, but it wasn't really a vote by committee. Tony looks to me to say, hey man, what's going to get us the most downloads? What are they digging? And he trusts me because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not like a genius podcaster.
Because of his knowledge and because he is one of the guys who loves wrestling. Not that I don't, but he's the one that kind of gets his finger on the pulse of what works and what doesn't.
I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm trying to put out a product that I would listen to. So it's kind of easy if you're a buyer, hey, create something you would buy. And I would buy a watch-along show more so than, I don't remember, it was the booking committee.
Chapter 4, Breaking Off the Damn Knob.
The Halloween Havoc 1997 episode came after I really just beat up on Tony for a whole week about how awful the Austin show was and that he needed to bring it. And that we were going to do watch along and he needed to turn the volume up. So he drove over and we taped Halloween Havoc 97 and 95 back to back. We took a break in between to go 97. I thought when we were done, I looked over at him and I said, that's the best episode we've ever done. So Roddy Piper actually bites Hulk Hogan's rear end.
Yes.
And now a couple of punches,
yeah,
eye scrapes. And
he's going to bite him again. Holy shit.
Miraculously,
he's not bleeding.
There are no bite marks. There are no chunks.
But he was spitting something out there, so apparently...
Probably tanning oil.
Probably was... No, he's biting him in the forehead. Holy shit. And head first.
Into the apron. It feels like Ming could have taught Piper a thing or two about biting people.
No, absolutely could. Because when Ming bites you, a hunk's going to come out. Okay.
Lois ever take a bite out of Mr. Schiavone?
No shit. Absolutely not.
Feels like she's a scrapper.
She'd take a bite out of a piece of fried chicken. That's about it.
She likes her cock meat fried. Got it.
Jesus.
What?
Meanwhile, back to the match. Roddy Piper pressure to the ears, chasing Hogan, who's rocking on the top. Hogan's thinking, I'm too old for this shit. And the WWF, on the other hand, is trying to present it as being too old for this shit. Oh, my goodness. Back they go, stomping all into the face of Hulk Hogan, to the throat. Roddy Piper's a possessed man. What do you think, Conrad? Thank you very much. And now we go back to the action.
Thank you. Meltzer speculates that the cage here is 20 feet high.
Okay.
Do you think that this is actually 20 feet high?
Okay. 20 feet would be 2 basketball goals high.
Okay. Thank you, 8th grader. We got you.
No, that's how a judge thinks. I think, where would a basketball goal be, and would there be 2 on top of it? And I don't think it's 20 feet high. I think it's more like maybe 15 or maybe 15 and 3 stars.
Oh, my God. Okay. Listen to this.
All right. 3/4 stars? I don't know.
A week prior to this, right. Lanny Poffo got a tryout match in Biloxi. He wound up getting a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
Not that he could suck his own dick, but that he got paid to sit home. What? I mean, he got paid to sit at home and suck his own dick. Well, I don't know.
Look, I talked to Lanny about that, but I saw Lanny recently.
He denied that he got paid to sit home?
No.
Well, Peggy Latham saw the other one. So.
No, he admitted to it, and he realized that because Randy Savage was his brother, that helped him out in his career. But he also had some very good matches, did Lanny Poffo.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I like Lanny. Lanny's a good guy.
Now, check this out. So the first one out of the cage wins. Right. Hogan is going to make his way out. He's stalling. Piper pushes him out. So Hogan was out first, but the match continues because, as you explained on commentary, they went out at the same time. Even though that's not factually true, Hogan was out first.
But I had to make up something there, didn't I?
You did.
Okay.
And that cage door was just slammed directly into Piper's hand.
Oh, my God.
Apparently, if you hit Piper's hand, he loses all equilibrium.
Okay, here's something that fans need to know, and they probably know as well. Hulk Hogan is bleeding here. And this is I don't think he gigged himself. It could have been an old wound that was open.
What hurt Piper more here, that cage door or Stone Cold canceling his podcast?
I don't know.
Well, it's a real question.
I don't know what hurt more. Oh, but Hogan is just starting to bleed up in the top, and Hogan is going to be bleeding during this match. And we are told now, as production crew, as camera people,
Get a wide shot.
Get a
Don't
wide
shoot
shot.
it.
Absolutely.
So this is when the edict has just come down a couple weeks prior. We're not going to do crotch chops. We're not going to do Bronco rides.
Yeah.
We're not going to say bad words.
Right.
We're going to be safer.
Right.
So Hogan here, you believe, has hard weight, or he's gigged himself, but is just going off script?
Well, there is a certain faction that believe he gigged himself because I'm Hulk Hogan. There's Sting! Holy shit! Sorry, it's just kind of like a Pavlov's theory type thing there when I see him.
I get it. I
Okay.
mean, it's instinct.
Yeah, that's right. But, Hogan could be he's saying, I'm Hulk Hogan. I'm going to go ahead and bleed and you can go fuck yourself. But let's look. I see it's going to bleed on the top right here. So let's see if you actually see him saw himself or not.
So Hogan is so nervous about his head getting hit, he can't help but push that shoulder up.
Yeah.
Piper plays along.
Sting! Sorry.
Is it actually Sting or is it Canyon or who is it?
Well, I don't know who it is, but it's really not Sting. What did I say on the broadcast? Do you remember? Did I say?
You said, I'm not sure if that's Sting. I don't know who's Sting anymore.
Well, because Sting painted his face and that was a mask. Right?
Right.
So we knew. We knew it really wasn't Sting. Now, here.
Slow fucking motion. What's happening right now?
Okay.
This is in real time.
Yeah, Piper trying to get back to the ring and Hogan falls out of the ring.
It's important to remember that Hogan has had a year-long feud here with Piper. At the end of Halloween Havoc 96, after he beats Macho Man Randy Savage in the main event, Piper debuts unannounced and challenges Hogan.
Right. And
it kind of sets the wrestling world on fire a little bit. The most recent time we saw him was as the commissioner of the World Wrestling Federation, and earlier that same year, he had a match at WrestleMania with Goldust. So it's kind of a surprise that he shows up, and here we are a year later. Of course, in between, they main evented Starrcade, where, believe it or not, Piper actually won with a sleeper hold. And then, of course, they had their match where they shot the promo at Alcatraz.
Right.
It happened out at the Cow Palace at the Super Brawl, and now here we are for Halloween Havoc. So maybe the three biggest shows. Yeah, maybe you could make an argument for Bash at the Beach. Where would you put Super Brawl in kind of the hierarchy of WCW pay-per-views?
I always thought that Super Brawl was, it was kind of like in the spring, so it was kind of like against WrestleMania.
Right.
But I kind of thought it was more of our SummerSlam.
Yeah, I get that.
It's two Stings!
Stings galore.
Oh, my God.
Is the line from Dusty Rhodes.
Okay. Stings galore. How was that? Was that a good Dusty?
I got stings galore, Tony Schiavone.
Hell, got stings galore, and I got some hemorrhoids. You want to check out on me?
Pull the stick out of my ass and smell it. I mean, what the fuck was that? I've never heard that before. I don't know that I ever want to hear Lewis Black's full routine if it involves smelling people's ass sticks.
Oh.
I'm offended.
You're offended. Bullshit.
Yeah, not really.
Okay. All right. Now, Hogan is bleeding here. I've been looking. I don't think he gigged himself. This could be Hardway.
This feels like a jungle gym for the elderly. Does it not?
Yes, it does. But, this is the same cage that was in Chamber of Horrors. There you see Hogan bleeding. They got off the shot very quickly. Same cage that we used everywhere else. It was just a cage that was easy to lower.
Check out these belt shots here.
Oh, my God.
David Flair knows a thing or two about those.
Oh, man. He's laying these in.
Yeah, Piper's getting his hands up. Like,
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's right. And you get in the heat of battle, right? You lay him in.
He's into it.
Yeah, he's absolutely into it. I don't think Hogan can't do some heel shit here, man. I know we always talk about how much we like him, how much a great performer he was in light of everybody in Dirt Sheet World hating him, but he could do some heel shit, man.
I feel like I should mention here a correction from earlier. We were kind of freestyling. Why wasn't Six booked here?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he wasn't booked because he broke his match. He broke his neck wrestling Lex Luger a few weeks prior.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
So
that's the good reason.
yeah, I mean that's a good
Not a
reason.
bad reason, but that's
Yeah, we know what you mean. You can call off the Watchdogs, I
Right.
guess, off Eric Bischoff, but those tweets are probably already gone. So
yeah.
fuck
So
it.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's looking for something to do. He's just watching Fox News and
Apparently so. He's because he doesn't do his podcast anymore.
Nope.
Which surprised me. And Hogan's going to try to get out here.
Why does that surprise you? Russo will probably just take his spot, right?
Russo's got his own podcast.
Nobody else.
I'm not getting into that, you son of a bitch.
What?
Okay. Hogan's trying to get out of the cage. That's a great shot.
This is a
Great
phenomenal
camera
shot.
Yeah.
This feels like somebody was actually thinking ahead. Who would have planned a wide shot like this for the cage? Would this have been Craig Leathers?
Craig would have been the director. Keith would have been one of the producers in the truck. I'm going to give Keith Mitchell credit for this. And
as he starts to climb down, there's Sting pointing the bat at Hogan. Yeah. And Hogan's thinking twice about climbing down. So Piper scales up on the inside, and now these guys are going to be facing off through the cage. Hogan wants no part of the bat. He'd rather deal with Piper than Sting. And, of course, we're 2 months away from the biggest pay-per-view of all time after, I guess, a year-and-a-half-long build of Sting versus Hulk Hogan. They're on top of this rickety chicken wire cage, which looks like an adult playpen.
Sting again! How many Stings is this? Oh, shit, man.
How many Stings does it take to get in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame?
And there comes one with his hairdo all down in front of him.
That's the Shield version. That's the Roman Reigns one.
Roman Reigns Sting.
Sting Reigns.
Well, yeah, we've got Ambrose taking pictures at ringside. So
Seth Rollins is one of those fake Stings.
It's got to be. Okay. Now, Piper can win it here, right, by escaping?
I don't know. Because
what are the rules here?
They don't know.
That nobody
Because
knows.
Earlier it was supposed to be the first one who was out, and Hogan just walked the fuck out.
Yeah, so
it was a cage where the door.
And it's one of the things, a small thing that led to our demise.
Well, I think it's a matter of, rather than Bischoff being concerned about what the steps were here in this match, he's more like, tell that fucking midget to take his mask off tonight. And I think that's what Bischoff was doing instead.
Yeah, and you're right.
When really, he should have been focused on the fucking main event.
Yeah, at least on the finish, wouldn't you think?
You would think. What are the rules for a cage match?
Well, the rules for a cage match like this, if it's back to the old WWE, there's Sting again! Back to the old WWE days. I didn't know. There's two more of those motherfuckers. Where was it? Back in the old WWE days, remember Paul Orndorff and Hulk Hogan? One of the great cage matches where they had to go to the replay. But I don't know what this one's about. I have no idea.
Piper slithering back into the ring. He picks up Hogan's shirt. He's going to use Hogan's shirt as a weapon. He starts to choke out Hollywood with his own shirt. Hogan thinks better of it, reaches down, grabs the big gold belt, whacks Piper in the head with it. And he just throws the belt down like a sack of shit.
That's right.
How much do you think that belt was worth? Allegedly, it was
$10,000.
All silver, like solid silver with gold on it. And there's a book out about it, but I wanted to know, oh, man, look at that.
Wow.
He's really ramming Piper's head into the mat.
Absolutely is. As you can see, Hulk is still bleeding. Now what's he going to try here? Oh, he's going for his big leg drop. There it is. Now
he's calling for the ref.
Wait a minute.
Who's outside. The ref unlocks the cage, slides in, and now he's going to count. So the referee was outside of the cage, but now he's inside, and he's going to count. And Piper kicks out of the leg drop, and Hogan can't believe it.
But it was only a 2 count, says Randy Anderson, but I thought the idea was, what the fuck is going on here? And here comes the Macho Man, Randy Savage.
And why shouldn't he? Now, the Macho Man is climbing the cage. The door is standing wide open. You could just walk through like the referee just did, but instead Macho Man is going to go to the top of what Meltzer said is a 20-foot high cage, and from this angle, it looks scary.
Oh. Did he connect that time?
He connected with his knees, hips, elbows, ankles. Macho Man comes off the cage. Sleeper applied to Hollywood Hulk Hogan, who was trying to pick up his own belt. Not happening.
Okay, this is it. This is it. Randy Anderson in position. Call it Pee-wee. 1. It's raising up the arm. There's 1. 1. Raising up the arm. And there's 2. Oh, he's going to keep the arm up this time. 2, 3. It's over. Oh, my God, it's over. It's over.
Roddy Piper has won the match. He's won the age in a cage.
But
similar finish to Starrcade, where Piper wins with a sleeper. Bischoff comes out. He's pushing around some stings. Macho Man thrown out of the ring by Piper, and Bischoff's trying to make his way in. He's finally going to sneak in and get the check on his pride and joy, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Sting is trying to pull at Piper and Savage. It's an interesting situation here.
And here comes Sting. Oh, my God.
The mask flies off.
It's Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Pantyhose. It's one of the many fake things. Little known facts, boys and girls.
There you go. There was his debut in WCW.
They knew they had a cage match they needed a rating for, so here we go.
Okay. Didn't even show his face, which is just like us. Now what are they doing here?
They're going to be handcuffing Roddy Piper, and there's a Roddy Piper doll being stuck through the holes of the cage.
What the hell?
It's real life.
Oh, good God. And if memory serves me right here, Conrad, real life is about to really happen.
Some of the worst selling ever from Piper.
Yeah,
he's not even acknowledging that Macho Man is just firing off on him.
He's supposed to be out on his feet here, right? Is that the?
Well, you should move your head if you're getting punched in the face.
All right, so we're going to see some real life stuff here happen, and I've often been asked by fans, was this really a fan or was this a work?
How about Hogan putting on the Sting mask?
That's pretty cool.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it is.
As fans are reaching through trying to hand these guys toys, Macho Man tried to
look at this. Okay.
A fan jumps the ring.
Yeah.
And he's being shot and shown on camera. And he's scaling the ring at a furious pace.
Right.
He was a fan who sat at the corner who looks like the world's skinniest juggalo.
Right. And here he comes, and they take the shot like they really think it's him.
He has
like
a Sting mask and a Sting shirt.
Okay.
And now Shawn Michaels is covering him up. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like Chad Gable. That could be Chad Gable.
This was a real fan. Hogan realizes what's going on. Savage realized what's going on, and now you're going to see the end of working punches.
You're saying these are shoot punches?
This is a shoot punch. This fan went into the ring. Doug Dillinger told wrestlers many times.
Why would they try to put him in the
once
ring?
The wedding is
if he's
paid
a fan,
for,
why would you put him in the ring where you know he's going to be on camera?
Well, they want to show fans what to fucking not do.
Conrad can tell you there have been a couple of times where
I've
said, we need to stop
because they would shoot him climbing the cage because they weren't always told what was going to happen, and they thought this was
and I don't like what I'm doing.
They thought this was absolutely part of the gimmick.
And Conrad has said, I have no.
And now you're going to see Doug Dillinger's people get in. And they frantically try to pull him off.
Once the wedding is paid for in March,
you don't think this was a work?
The plan is to continue to go on.
I don't. They beat the shit.
I wonder if there's going to become a time.
And I've seen fans get the shit beat out of them before.
I'm sorry. Run out of to talk about.
This was always a thing in the business.
And of course, the plan is to keep on going.
When a fan got involved,
ad nauseum,
when he stepped through the ropes, he was going to get the fuck beat out of him. That was always an unwritten rule. And now you're seeing it happen. And right now we don't know what to do, right? Because we want to show Piper, we want to get off this guy, and they are just getting his ass out of there.
Meltzer wrote, then came the post-match angle with the fan, really bad stuff, dud.
Yeah.
So they went 13 minutes and 37 seconds.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird because it's a non-title match. And Meltzer wrote, the fact this was non-title must not have gotten across well because after the matches, virtually the entire crowd live, and it appears the majority of the TV viewers couldn't understand why Piper hadn't won the title. This was a slow-motion battle of should-be-extinct dinosaurs who came across great on Nitro during interviews, but when they were put in the ring with all the hype, the lack of heat, show they are having a harder time fooling the public that they can still wrestle. Another cage match where tons of guys get in, both guys get out during the course of the match. A million stings came out, all to no reaction. Hogan juiced at one point. He used 2 leg drops, and somehow Randy Anderson got into the cage, and there was no ref in the cage up to this point, and it was billed as a no-referee match. And he counted the pin, but Piper kicked out. Anderson stayed in there for a finish as Savage supposedly hit Hogan with his flying leap, and Piper used the sleeper for the win. And then the fan deal, really bad stuff here. Dud.
Yeah.
Savage here, when he's jumping off the top of the cage, is just a couple of weeks shy of being 45 years old.
Wow.
Kudos to him for such a feat, because that could have went really, really wrong in a hurry.
Yeah, it sure could have. I'm going to go back to this fan thing. What have you read, because I don't read this stuff, that it was really a fan or wasn't a fan?
You know, I've got to be honest. I've got to do some more investigating on that, and
Okay.
I'm sure that we will touch on it in the future. But I have always been of the impression that this was a fan, because they showed so much of it.
Right.
It feels like if they're gonna beat the shit out of him and break the law, that they might not shoot it.
Yeah. Right. What to me, when I saw him come up, and I wasn't sure because we're not told everything. When I saw him come down, I'm thinking, well, this is a part of the angle. But when the phony Sting grabs him and holds him down,
I saw that, but I thought that maybe that Sting hadn't been smartened up. There was a miscommunication, and that extra didn't know that this was part of the show.
Yeah, well,
I could be wrong.
To me, it was a real fan. I thought it was a real fan, and I thought it was because I watched it again. They were laying him in on him. So,
well, it makes me happy, because even if it wasn't a real fan, the idea that a guy who was there and in the company thinks it was a real fan, it means it got over.
Right.
It worked.
Yeah.
And I think this worked. I think this was a much better episode than last week, and I thank you for that.
Well, you're more than welcome. It's always good working with you, and good having Dave Silva in the audience here. I don't know what Dave did except go to your bathroom 10 feet away.
He took a huge shit.
Yeah, he sure did.
I think the shows have been great since the watch-along format.
Okay, I had the privilege of staying at the Conradison when Tony and Conrad taped the infamous 1-900 promos with Mean Gene and Mark Marrow and Macho Man and all that craziness. You could hear me in the background losing it because those guys were in rare form. Now, that night was a crazy night. We had Mexican food. We were full. We were having a good time. We were laughing. We all got together to do the last podcast and to tape that night. And Tony was bananas. Tony was like, take off the seatbelt. I'm just going to go for it and I'm going to have fun. And a lot of people don't know this, but once you fill Tony's belly with Mexican food, he becomes a puro crazy vato. And he goes and he says some crazy stuff.
Tony has imitated Mean Gene doing the hotline.
Whenever he does Mean Gene in the hotline, I'm dying.
97, I thought when we were done, I looked over at him and I said, that's the best episode we've ever done. I had no idea that once Tony got some enchiladas in his belly, he was going to break the mold with Halloween Havoc 95. The most foul, the most over top, the most entertaining episode, maybe in the history of podcasts, Halloween Havoc 95.
Yes, meanwhile, call the WCW hotline right now. I've got some inside information that you will not get anywhere else. If nothing else, I'll fucking lie about it. That's right. I'll lie to you. 1-900-909-9900. Call costs $1.49 each minute. Don't tell your parents, fuck them. And now let's bring
Keep going. I'm trying not to sell. Keep going.
Johnny B. Bad, I want to talk to you for just a second. You're going to get some pussy tonight. Yes, I am, Gene. As soon as
If I could go into the future, Mr. Brock Lesnar, please forgive me for what I'm about to do to my own wife.
I'm going to fuck Sable, and then I'm going to fuck Kimberly, and then I'm going to rub pussy juice on your bald head. Well, Johnny B. Bad, call the hotline right now. Put your dick on.
Your dick to get your parents' permission.
Yes. Yeah. Call right now. 1-900-909-9900. You can talk to Johnny B. Bad's dick. It's going to have a big, not tonight, because I'm a bad man. Yes, sir. I'm bad. I'm a bad